And, you know, for 47 minutes, 59.8 seconds, we were the losing team. So it feels good in that locker room for these guys to experience a win where you didn't play perfect, but you grinded out a victory against a really good team. We needed that experience, and hopefully we can build off of it. But we have to play better basketball to win against their best. That's the way that I look at it.
Can you just tell us what the play call was on the last play with Turner onto the basket?
Just we've run it. We've run it before. You know, I had used the other one, the play before, and so we just wanted to get it into Evan's hands, and then Avery had an option off of a single pin down after Marcus Thornton had curled his guy to try to create a little bit of havoc. But Avery has scored off that play against Denver to win, or to big shot late. He scored off that play against somebody else, big shot late, and then, you know, Evan has the option to drive. And I knew when I told Evan he had the option to drive, I knew that he was not probably going to get rid of the ball. I thought he was going to try to take it and make a play. You know, one thing about Evan is he's big with the ability to handle the ball, so he's going to be able to get a shot like he got off like that, you know, from a similar area to where he beat us last year when he was playing for Philadelphia.
Considering how often you guys have fallen into these holes, is it possible that they are now that confident coming back from these big margins?
You know, I think we're 20 and 31, so I'm not ready to anoint us the comeback crew yet. But we have had a lot of games where we've been down and we've come back and been right on the door knocking and not gotten over the hump. And so it was good to finish that off, come back all the way and win. But again, I didn't think they played their best game. You know, they've been on the road for 3 games. They've had a miraculous, couple of months of basketball. And, they missed some shots late, and we were fortunate. We made some and, worked out our way.
Coach, how does this win change the team's mindset heading into All-Star break?
Well, I think they were probably going to go wherever they were going to go anyways. So, I just told them, I said this, Emily, I said that don't lose the momentum of what we worked towards, but get off your feet and get some rest. And I think that's something that we all have to do. We have a lot of room to improve. This should give you a little bit of energy when you come back to work. It's always tough to leave on a break or in any period of time, or even a 5-day break on a close loss. So a close win can makes you feel a little bit better about getting traveling and getting back together and getting back on the plane and doing it all again come next Wednesday.
Coach.
Yes.
Playing against a team that has 4 All-Stars, what do you have to do defensively to guard these players? And second question, the playoff talks start to become bigger and bigger. What do you think of, fighting for a playoff spot in the East?
Well, we just want to win the next game, and if that, ends up with an opportunity to play beyond, that's how that works. So we talk about it a little bit, but we talk more about what we need to do that given night. The biggest thing about guarding them is what makes them difficult is that they're all stars, they're great players, but they play so well together. I mean, they just whip that ball around. I think the greatest, the other separator is just the speed of some of those guys driving the ball. It's hard to keep them in front. When you converge, you're in trouble because of the shooting. And even Horford doesn't shoot threes, but he makes a ton of 18-foot jump shots, as well as anybody in the league. Just puts so much pressure on your defense.
Coach, what were you saying to the guys? Because it was such a uphill battle. What were you encouraging them or adjustments?
No, I thought we stunk for first half, and so there wasn't a whole lot of encouraging words at halftime. But it was more about but it was, we just felt like we had a pretty good, approach to the game prior to the game. We just didn't think we were very good in the first half, and we were just slow, I thought, on both ends of the court. We weren't keeping up with them. They do that to people because of their speed. They do that to people because of their activity in their hands. We got more sure with the ball in the second half. We were tougher with the ball. I think what we end up with 10 turnovers on the game, which is really good. You had 10 against Philly, 12 against Milwaukee, and 10 tonight, I think, was the numbers. And those against those three teams, three of the best teams at creating turnovers in the league, are good numbers moving forward. But that's what gave us a chance, because we couldn't hit the ocean with the ball for most of the game.
Coach, you spoke of the momentum that you guys have right now. You've gone 7-5 in your last 12 games, which is a pretty sizable sample size. How great is that momentum right now?
Until you look at their momentum. They won like 20 out of 21. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's all relative. I mean, I've been a part of teams that have won a lot of games in a row, and you're, as a coach, you're scared to death of the next game. You don't even think about the win before. So the players may feel it. I don't feel it as much. I think what it does is it gives you a little bit of hope in close games and close situations. And I think that's, again, what we've talked about. I didn't think we were great late against Milwaukee offensively. But I thought tonight we did a lot of good things.
Coach, we've talked recently about just continuity and the value in that, and it seems that your team right now really has a rhythm about themselves, particularly in these type of games. How concerned are you with the trade deadline coming up that continuity might be disrupted, that you've been able to generate of late?
Well, we'll figure it out, but I think that certainly. I'd love for us to have as little movement as possible, but I understand that those guys will do their jobs, and they'll take everything and look at it and figure out how best to move forward with our team. Not only especially with 30 some odd games left. I think that we have a good momentum. We have a good group of young guys that are figuring out how to be, like I talked about before with Atlanta, figuring out how to be stars in their roles, because I think that's the key. And that's why we've been able to have a little bit of success here and there, I think, and that in the defensive end of the floor. Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Brett.
Gary.
You said earlier you want to keep, you hope all the moves are over. You want to keep the team together. I mean, you guys are at a level, or would you say that, you played very hard at Milwaukee. Tonight you played hard. You didn't always execute offensively, but you gutted it out. It seems like you're beginning to see progress, and it's got to make you want to keep the nucleus together and kind of continue this thing.
Yeah, I think that's anytime you're in that situation and you feel like there's progress, you certainly progress is a good thing. We're getting progress from a lot of guys. I think our older guys are playing, doing a lot of better things, some of them, and the younger guys, I thought Marcus Smart probably played. He didn't play very well tonight, but he hit a huge shot late, and he stepped up when it was all on the line, hit the backdoor layup, and then hit the three, and that's a credit to him. That's a credit to who he is, and he's been, and those experiences are good for him. These experiences of growth are good for everybody, but we'll figure it out depending on what happens in the next week. I really like these guys. They're a good group of guys. They work hard, and you see a lot of growth in a lot of them.
Yeah, Brett, just to follow up on the playoff question, if you guys were to make the playoffs, the Hawks are a strong possibility of a team that you would play. What's it do for the players in the locker room that if you were matched up to say, hey, we beat these guys already, we can play with these guys?
Yeah, I mean that's it's so far in the distance that I don't know. If that time comes, if we're fortunate enough to be in that position, then we'll be able to look at the film and see what we can do better and see what how we can play a lot better than we did the first 47 minutes. Again, I didn't think and this is a credit to them. They've been such a juggernaut that they've just played great, and I think that this is I think they're probably looking at it as they didn't play as well as they've played. Hopefully we had something to do with it. I don't know if we did or not, but I'm glad that we pulled it out.